Hello and welcome back to Pokemon SoulSilver with a side of Ultra Sun shiny hunting, where today, hopefully, my internet will behave itself. I have reason to believe that it will. Namely that a couple days ago we actually had a technician from our ISP come out to check on things, and they replaced our modem and applied a couple things that should hopefully make things actually okay now. So we can only hope. Hey there, Outlander. Okay, so now we're here, which means there is just one path left on this route that I need to potentially investigate. Yeah, Outlander, RE9. It is a thing and coming a lot sooner than I expected. You can bet that I am going to play that for the channel the moment I can. Because I enjoy Resident Evil. I know I went far left and far right on here, so I need to do mid-right. And surf on any gravelers that I see. Meanwhile, in Pokemon news, Scarlet and Violet are basically an entirely different game on Switch 2. I replayed, well, not replayed, well, kind of replayed. I took a Scarlet file through Kitakami in the Blueberry Academy, which I had not yet done on Scarlet. On this Scarlet file. Needed to get my hands on Pokeballed, what are they called? Gouging Fire, Raging Bolt. Yeah, those. And now I'm working on playing through Violet again, because I need to get Miraidon in a Pokeball. I need to get Iron Valiant and Iron whatever the other one is. Boulder? Iron Boulder, I think it is. Anyway, the Violet exclusives. I need to get those in Pokeballs. And just playing through in Violet, I ended up getting, I kid you not, 3 shinies before the first gym. Sure, some of that is, well, I mean, 2 of them were from a Porygon 2 outbreak that just happened to be on the way. I didn't stick around long or anything. It was, I got there, and there were 2 shiny Porygon 2s waiting for me. So, like, what am I gonna do? Not catch them? And then I also found a shiny Mareep on the way to the first gym. So yeah, I got 3 shinies on the way to the first gym. And then I also got a shiny Gyarados on the way to, well, not on the way to the second gym, but while I was exploring around before doing the second gym, I found a shiny Gyarados. So, like, yeah, games just, hey, do you want shinies? And, like, to be fair, I'd already gotten 2 shiny Porygon 2s from the shiny outbreaks before this. And I'd also gotten 3 shiny Porygon 1s from shiny outbreaks that happened earlier in the year. So, like, I was already set on shiny Porygons. And shiny Gyarados, yeah, I'm set on those in Scarlet and Violet as well. Because when they were doing the shiny Magikarp outbreaks, I think last year, I got a ton of shiny Magikarps because I wanted to get 2 of each gender so that I could have all the shiny forms of Magikarp and Gyarados. And it took me, I think it was... it took me 9 Magikarps to get 2 of each gender. So, yeah, I already had each shiny Gyarados, each shiny Magikarp, and like 5, not like, actually 5 extra, I think, males. So, yeah, I did not need the shiny Gyarados, I did not need the shiny Porygons. The shiny Mareep was at least useful. I didn't have the full line shiny yet, I only had 1 shiny Mareep, so I'm closer to having that full line shiny. Really wish this Teddiursa would just stay in the ball. I don't even know if I still need a male Teddiursa, but I know I need at least 1 of them. Like, I know I need at least a Teddiursa. I forget whether it's male or female that I still need. And so I'm trying to catch this little jerk, but he's not staying in the ball. I could swap to someone who might be able to do some damage, but I think everyone's too high level except for this Chinchou that I keep forgetting to get out of the party. But yeah, I don't know that anyone here is capable of not one-shotting it. Maybe Crobat, if I use the right move. Yeah, a bite might leave this thing alive. Ooh, that was close. And let me just say, thank goodness we're not playing this in Gen 2, because back then, this Teddiursa would absolutely have run away by now. I'm glad that as a mechanic they dropped the instant we hit Gen 3. There we go. Yeah, Outlander, as far as getting my Switch 2 goes, I had 2 pre-ordered, and then I waited in line at Best Buy to get a 3rd, because I am going to be Uncle of the Year. Got both my nieces a Switch 2 for their birthdays, which aren't until August, but hey, they started summer now, and I figure, hey, they probably enjoy having them all summer instead of only in August. Yeah, my local Best Buy actually got a ton of Switch 2 units. Literally, I could have showed up... I could have showed up 5 hours later than I did, and still gotten one. Alright, looks like we are actually done exploring this route. Oops. Yeah, my local Best Buy When I went, I stopped by GameStop on the way because it was just shy of 2 p.m. and I knew that GameStops were going to be doing a 3 p.m. reservation thing for games that or for Switches that weren't reserved already. But when I got to my GameStop, they had a sign in the window saying that they were going to have one non-reserved Switch 2. And there were already 7 guys lined up for it. I don't think they all got the one unit, but one of them sure did. Right, I need to go somewhere with an actual PC box so I can ditch this Chin Chow. But then after that stop at GameStop, I went straight to Best Buy. And I was 7th in line there. But about 5 minutes after I showed up, one of the employees came out to just count us and was like, okay, everyone here is guaranteed to get a Switch. It's like, oh, okay. So I contacted my brother because the plan was for him to show up as additional muscle just for safety's sake, potentially, when he got off work. But I told him, hey, if you get here and sit in line, then your kids are both guaranteed Switch 2s. And so, yeah, he took my place in line when the time came. And the reason he took my place in line is because I actually needed to be in the reserved line because I had already reserved a Switch 2 at that very Best Buy. Okay, who did I have in this slot? Mag Cargo. But yeah, so I got my reserved unit, he got a unit that was not reserved, and actually, fun fact, because he showed up at 7:30, by that point, the reserved line was longer than 7 people long, and the Best Buy, the way they handled it. Hang on a sec. Oh, hey, good afternoon. What's up? This is Dana. You know what? I got a good gift. As I promised, it's yours. I'm sure you'll like it. Come pick it up. I'm waiting on Route 38. But yeah, the way my Best Buy handled it was they took in 3 people from the reserves line and 3 people from the non-reserves line at a time. And they just always had 3 people in the store from each line. And that meant my brother was actually in and out before I was, despite me having the reserve and having waited there since 2 p.m. But hey. Where is Route 38? It's over here. But yeah, at about like 4 o'clock, the line was getting a bit longer. It was like almost 20 people. And the guy came out, counted everyone, was like, okay, yeah, we're still way under. And someone went, someone asked him, like, how many do you have? And he said, well, I can't tell you for security reasons, but I can say that everyone here is going to get a Switch 2. Or everyone here right now is going to get a Switch 2, is what he said. But one person decided to try and get more info by going inside the store and asking some other people who worked there. And they came out and said that they got an answer that they had like 100. At that point, I went and called my brother-in-law and told him, hey, I know you're looking for a Switch 2. Apparently, they've got a ton of them here that are going to people who don't have reservations, and if you get here soon, chances are pretty good you'll get to go home with one. He came by like 45 minutes after that. The line was growing faster by then. He ended up being 47th in line, And even he was guaranteed to get a Switch 2. So yeah, it was... Hi, are you here for your gift? This should really make your day. Yeah, Thunderstone ain't bad. But yeah, I got my Switch 2s. My brother-in-law got his Switch 2. Everyone in the family who wanted a Switch 2 got a Switch 2. But yeah, when I went inside and got to actually buy my Switch 2, or not buy, pick up my reserved Switch 2, that Best Buy had approximately 200 Switch 2s, if not 250 or even 300, in just the reserves area. So for people who reserved, they had well over 200 Switch 2s. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it was over 200, because they were on pallets where each, like, row of the pallet had 5x5 Switch 2s, so 25 per row. I'm pretty sure it was at least 10 tall, so it had to be at least 250 units, specifically for reserves. And then they also had 2 cages full of them for non-reserves, so yeah, it was... They probably did have either 100 or close to 100 non-reserved units. So yeah, a lot of Switch 2s at that Best Buy. One of my coworkers, they went to get a Switch 2 at their own place that they had gotten a reserve in at. And apparently... Uh-oh, hang on. Alright, we seem to be fine. My, bitrate went into the yellow for a moment there, but we only dropped 36 frames and we're back to green, so... We're not having the same issues we did last time. At least there's that. Yeah, my coworker, they showed up at their place like an hour before the thing was actually released. And so that would have been at 9 p.m. their time, because they're on Mountain Standard Time. And they didn't get to go home with their Switch 2 until 3 a.m. because the line was huge and everyone in front of her was taking ages. Hey! Do you know what you just did? You've taken your first step into Kanto. Check your Pokegear map and see. Yeah, the, apparently the record for the longest time at the register for people in front of her was 15 minutes. So yeah, just imagine having 100+ people in line behind you, waiting to check out, and taking 15 minutes because you don't know whether you want to buy this accessory or that accessory. Oh, maybe you might want to sign up for the warranty, or... Oh, what about the store credit card? That's something that you really got to consider. So yeah, 15 minutes that guy took. Meanwhile, my Best Buy, they were handing out flyers with all the accessories and bundles and everything like that to people well in advance of opening for the Switch 2. Like, they wanted everyone to know what they wanted. Dang it, I need that Chinchou, actually. It had waterfall. But yeah, my Best Buy, they wanted everyone to know before they went into the store what they wanted with their Switch 2s. This is so annoying. Because we're in Kanto, we're not allowed to fly to Johto, because that's a mechanic that they kept from the Game Boy games. Even though it was a stupid mechanic then, and it's an even stupider mechanic now that the map can actually display everywhere at once. Yeah, and they even had people going up and down the line every, like, half hour asking everyone, so, are you going to want to sign up for the store credit card when you're here? You'll get these rewards, etc., etc. And so, like, yeah, my Best Buy, everything went real quick, real smooth. But there are definitely places where it was less quick and less smooth. I still can't fly? Do I have to get all the way back to New Bark? Okay, now I'm allowed to fly places. Outlander, even that varies depending on the Best Buy. One of my other coworkers went to Best Buy and was that guy who took 15 minutes at checkout there. He let them talk him into getting the warranty, the store credit card, helped him, he let them help him decide which case to get. So yeah, it really depends on the Best Buy. But I would guess that his Best Buy is a smaller one and not like a huge one like mine apparently is. Though I don't really think of mine as a huge Best Buy. I've definitely seen bigger. But then again, seeing bigger doesn't necessarily mean it's small. Like, it's still the main Best Buy in San Diego, which isn't exactly a small city. Like, if you look at the Best Buy store locator, it is the one that says San Diego for where it is. There are a few other Best Buys in the area that are technically not in San Diego. But they're not far from San Diego. They're just in the minor outlying cities in the San Diego area. Well, at least we didn't have to deal with any encounters on the way back here. Yeah, Outlander, like I said, San Diego is not a small city. So, fun fact, San Diego is the most expensive city in the country to live in. Which really begs the question, why the hell I don't live in Hawaii? be cheaper and, I would argue, nicer. Then again, moving to Hawaii isn't exactly easy or cheap. It's not like my living expenses here are that great because I got family here. Yeah, Outlander, Hawaii, in terms of actually moving there, is incredibly expensive. But if you already live there, then it is cheaper than San Diego. Like, rent is cheaper, provided you have a place to live. The general cost of living is cheaper. San Diego is a very expensive city. And they say that we are paying for the weather. Which, like 20 years ago, I would have absolutely agreed with that sentiment. Because, yeah, before climate change really got rolling, San Diego weather was phenomenal. Almost year-round. Like, 70% of the year, you could say that the weather was 68 degrees and sunny. That's 68 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. 68 Celsius would be lethal. So, in Celsius, that would be 20 degrees, so. 20 degrees Celsius and sunny. Not the worst. It's rare to see anyone come here. Are you training on your own? And nowadays, we spend a lot of the year in the mid-70s. So, like, 24-ish Celsius. Not to mention, summers get brutal. Kind of weird that the first trainer we encounter in Kanto has a Bulbasaur that by level could already be a Venusaur. Because she's probably also got an Ivysaur and a Venusaur of the same level hiding in back there. Okay, I get it now. I understand the game. I see what you're putting down. Also, can I just say it's really rude to have the very first trainer we encounter here in Kanto when there's still a whole route ahead of us before we get anywhere that matters? Having them use poison powder. Kinda rude. In a game where getting poisoned does damage out of combat. I really did just buy a lot of full heals instead of antidotes, didn't I? That's pretty like me. Once I get to a certain point of the game, I start buying exclusively those because, hey, they work on everything. Now watch this house be like, hey, do you need heals? Where are you off to with Pokemon? The Pokemon League? Are your Pokemon loyal enough for you to win? Let me see. Ah, your Pokemon trust you very much. It's nice to see a good trainer. Here, a gift for your journey. I don't believe the loyalty of your Pokemon determines how well you do in the Pokemon League, but okay. TM37 happens to be Sandstorm. It's a move that inflicts damage on both your and your foe's Pokemon. However, some Pokemon, such as Rock and Ground and Steel-type Pokemon, take no damage. There are other ways to avoid taking damage. I'll let you figure it out. Are your Pokemon loyal enough? If yes, enjoy a Sandstorm, TM? I was fully expecting it to be Return. You look pretty strong. Let me battle you. You know, it actually has occurred to me that while I have been doing stuff to raise my Pokemon's levels, I technically don't really have to do that, do I? Because, like, we've got all 8 Johto badges, which means that Pokemon of any level will obey our orders. So I could just... I should have stayed on Lantern. I could just transfer my Pokemon over from Platinum and then have, you know, the 4 that I'm trying to get ribbons on actually be over here now. And that way I wouldn't have to worry about leveling up for the Elite Four. But then again... Execute's not Psychic yet, is it? I think it's just Grass. It would be kind of cheating to just port in some level 100s and use those. And of course it got the Confuse. I only have 2 full restores, but I feel like 1 is warranted right now if I want to keep Heracross up. Like, sure, I could swap to someone else, but, like, Heracross does need XP. Be real nice if I could finally stop looking at stupid Mesprits. I'm getting real tired of these things. It's been too long. I need the shiny to just show up already. Quagsire? That means August can actually get some value. That's rare. Hmm? You're good, aren't you? Arguably. Staying in just because Lantern's got Volt Absorb. Really should have stayed in on the Magneton for that exact reason. Nah, I think I'll keep Thunderbolt instead of learning Discharge. A good trainer can recognize other good trainers. Now wait just a minute here. There is zero chance that there isn't something to pick up here, right? Wrong. Well, that's certainly an interesting thing to find. Kind of weird they even hear where you need to have beaten the final gym in Johto to get here. The wild Pokemon are still only in the 20s level-wise. Just feels wrong. I'm going to go ahead and put Espeon in front, and let's go ahead and give Heracross our experience share. Because Heracross is going to be a very valuable member of the party. Able to hit many things for super effect. The experience share is on my mag cargo, isn't it? Well, never mind to that whole plan. What's Lantern holding? My amulet coin. That makes sense. Yeah, Gen 2 level scaling has indeed been the subject of a lot of analysis and complaint. And yes, for good reason. Because it's bad. Don't say a thing. Let me guess what you're thinking. I got it. You're on the Pokemon League challenge. Yeah, I guess I should put other Pokemon in front for a bit. I just generally prefer using the experience share. Okay, we actually got to swap out for this one because I can only hit this thing neutrally with Swift. Which ain't exactly great. Let's swap to Crobat. Not necessarily the best idea if it's using a psychic move, but it's not likely to be using one. And bite it. Yeah, Outlander, I don't have to worry about Red because I am specifically bringing in level 100 Pokemon for him because he is responsible for one of the ribbons that I need to get on them. In fact, he is responsible for the only ribbon that is exclusive to Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and therefore I must use them against him. So I will have 4 level 100 Pokemon when I fight him, guaranteed. So yeah, he is not a concern. It is specifically the Elite Four that I really need to actually care about. With your skills, you'll do well at the Pokemon League. That's what my premonition says. Alright, let's put Crobat in front. Let's take this Amulet Coin from Lantern. Take this Metronome from Crobat. Give Crobat the Amulet Coin. And then just not care about everything else. Now, what can we reach by going across this whirlpool over here? And the answer is a place we already came from. So the choice was either cross the whirlpool or take a slightly longer path up through the mountain. Got it. Wait, is that a different... That sure is the same place we have already been. Incidentally, while I was doing this Soul Silver one partially to get that ribbon from Red, and partially to have another game that would be able to do Battle Tower things for the last 2 ribbons there, because you need to do, well, for one of them, you need to have a doubles partner who is another player. Yeah, I was doing this to get this game ready so that I could do it here. But I have since learned that if I instead use a copy of Diamond, and I have got a completed Diamond save on DS, like, yeah, I've got that. You came from New Barktown? You must be exhausted. Apparently, if Platinum teams up with Diamond or Pearl, it just completely breaks the Battle Tower AI and makes them entirely stupid. Which will make it easier to win if I do that. So I'm gonna do that. It's pretty simple math there. Do what make win easier. Yeah, apparently something about how they changed the AI going into Platinum and Heart Gold and Soul Silver makes it so that teaming up with Diamond and Pearl makes the game not know which AI to use, and it just starts being really bad. And so not only do you not get the smarter AI from Platinum and beyond, You also don't even get the level of AI that Diamond and Pearl had. I don't know why it's like that, but apparently it is. And this battle is showing off a big part of why I prefer leveling with experience share, because the good XP comes from trainers, not random encounters. And when you're battling on set battle style instead of shift, swapping out to the Pokemon that needs XP isn't as easy. Like when I can just stick in with Lantern and one-shot a thing. Or I could swap out to, like, Crobat and risk it potentially getting KO'd. Yeah. Just stick with Lantern. Not too shabby. You're doing something right if you can beat me, even by an unlikely fluke. I like you. Give me your number. You can be my practice partner. Yeah, not gonna. Don't get too high and mighty about beating me. It was a fluke. If you're that energetic, you can definitely make it to the Pokemon League. Feels like there should be something around here. I was about to put Lantern in front because, hey, it's a fisherman. I'm feeling great today. I feel like I could even beat the league champion. Let's see if that feeling is warranted. With only 3 Pokemon to your name, I bet it isn't. I mean, I respect a guy who likes him a Quillfish, but it's gonna take more than a Quillfish to win the league championship, just so you know. And watch it get the poison, or not. Nice. Nice crit. Almost certainly unnecessary. Okay, 2 Quillfish and a Sea King. I believe it will, in fact, take more than that to win the league championship, sir. At least at the levels you've got them at. If they were level, like, 80, you might stand a better chance. Just like in fishing, it's all over in Pokemon if you give up. I'll leave Crobat out front, but I'm probably going to swap it immediately because this is a Psychic. Wow, look at all those badges. I'm impressed. You're not satisfied by just collecting them, right? Outlander, the other games I'm looking forward to besides Resident Evil 9, the Scott Pilgrim EX should be pretty fun. And beyond there, like, Death Stranding 2 is this month somehow. But I don't know if I'm going to get that on PS5. Like, I'm going to wait to see how it performs on PS5, and if it's good, I'm going to grab that. And if it struggles or anything, which I doubt it will, but if it does, then I'll wait for the eventual PC release. Yeah, Pragmata might be interesting. Capcom does do good work. Okay, if I jump down here, then I am going to have to work my way all the way back. Let's jump down later if jump down is what I'm going to do. Is this a rest house? Please let this be a rest house. Did you think you were lucky to find a place to rest right where you needed it? Don't be reserved. I look forward to people's smiles. Let your Pokemon rest here. Thank you, ma'am. There, your Pokemon are looking good. Keep at it. Since you've come this far, you must be good. I'm going to give this battle everything I've got. The Splatoon spin-off that just got announced, that's also something that has my interest. That one came out of left field. And like, a lot of people have been expecting a Nintendo Direct this month. But if they're just gonna announce a Splatoon spin-off game just out of nowhere on their app, either they did that to throw us off the scent and make us think that there would be no Direct, when really there is one, or else it was not a double bluff, and there is in fact no Direct this month. Well, thankfully the para didn't really bother me. I've defeated 8 gym leaders, so I was feeling confident. I'll have to try harder next time. Yeah, maybe also bring more than 2 Pokemon. Just getting rid of that para. Another house. Wait, is this where the weekly siblings live? It is. To my brothers and sisters, we take pride in serving Pokemon trainers. When trainers talk to you, give them something useful. Love, Monica. Monday, Monica, Route 40. Tuesday, Tuscany, Route 29. Wednesday, Wesley, Lake of Rage. Thursday, Arthur, Route 36. Friday, Frida, Route 32. Saturday, Santos, Blackthorn City. Sunday, Sunny, Route 37. So today, if I go to Blackthorn City, I can get an item. I don't recall it being a useful one, but an item is an item. I don't believe I have touched this water yet. And there was, in fact, reason to touch it, even if it was not exactly a very big reason. I ordinarily wouldn't go for a tentacle, but this one's level 30. That's not low. Again, level 30, not low. If a wild Pokemon is either evolved or level 30 plus, it should be worth it XP-wise. Suppose I should read this sign and see what path goes where. Okay, it doesn't really tell us. So what's here to the left? A path that we can't take. Okay. By experiencing tough battles, you gain power. That is true, I suppose. You also gain power by experiencing easy battles, just not as quickly. All XP is XP. Yeah, look at that, protecting on the turn when I'm gonna fly up. You fool. Not gonna lie, I expected a little more damage than that, but okay. And again, protecting on the turn that I am doing nothing. There's some nice XP. Wow, you're tough. I haven't battled that seriously in a long time. Can I get your phone number? I'd like to battle again after I heal my Pokemon. How should I beat you? I'm tormented by those thoughts all the time. What do you mean all the time? We literally just met. Garnet, howdy. It's Derek. How are you? Did you remember the bud catching contest is today? You're gonna go, aren't you? I think I'll participate with Pikachu to show off its cuteness. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go to the bug catching contest, no. It's a bit annoying to get back to Johto. To get to the Pokemon League, you have to get through Victory Road. But Victory Road is tough. Practically nobody goes there. Okay, if Victory Road is crawling with trainers, I'm gonna have to complain to this guy. I'm making my final preparations for the Pokemon League. Oh, this poor Parasect. Apparently this Golduck just wants to make noise. Hey there, boy chick. And a Vaporeon. I don't think Crobat really has the tools to get through that. Let's swap to August. And of course it opens with Sand Attack. And of course I miss because of the Sand Attack. And of course it goes for another Sand Attack. But I just needed the one more hit. We're good. It's going to be tough to win at the league. I need to do some more training. I hear that the league's Elite Four are tougher than gym leaders. Is that Victory Road right there? I lost to a red-headed trainer. He was really strong, but it was as if he absolutely had to win at any cost. I felt sorry for his Pokemon. Yeah, Boychuk, Hawaii is a nice place. I've vacationed there, I think, 3 times in my life, though 2 of the times I was really young. The 3rd time, however, I was in high school and had gotten a diving license, so I was able to do some scuba diving, and that was real fun. Only problem is, I got sick that week. So I only really got to go diving twice. Outlander, technically you don't need a license to go diving, period. You do need one to do it on your own. Like, you can be under the supervision of a master diver, and then you don't need a license at all. You just need to sign some waivers. But if you want to actually own the equipment and go diving by yourself, then you do need to be licensed. Because it's an activity that, if done improperly, can absolutely get you killed. You're very good at battling. We should battle again sometime. By challenging a tough trainer like you, I think I can get better too. So how about it? Would you give me your phone number? Let's battle again sometime. Pokemon are invaluable, lifelong partners. But yeah, when one of the most dangerous aspects of diving is surfacing, then, yeah, it's a thing. I might as well stop by the healing house. Yeah, like, if you have not been instructed on all the proper things to do while diving, and I accidentally pressed A one time too many, and you get yourself into trouble while you're out there diving on your own, like maybe something goes wrong with your tank or something like that. Maybe you stay down too long and you don't have enough air left to get back up or something. It'll make you want to, you know, rush to the surface where you can actually breathe. But that, depending on how deep you were, is a one-way ticket to decompression sickness, which can kill you. Only trainers who have proven themselves may pass. Oh, the 8 badges of Johto. Please, go right on through. This way leads to Mount Silver. You'll see scary strong Pokemon out there. You're not ready for it. Hold there. This way leads to Kanto, but this path's blocked for the time being, I'm afraid. Oh, it's just blocked? Not gonna give a reason as to why it's blocked? Alright, Victory Road, here we are. No, I would not like to use strength from here. That is what a stupid person does. Smart people use strength from down here so that they can actually progress, instead of needing to turn back at literally the first obstacle. Yeah, if you're out diving, if you've gone deep enough for long enough... Oh, great. I'm dropping a million frames. Gonna wait a moment. Hopefully this clears up. I mean, I'm dropping apparently 60 frames per second despite my upload still saying it's in the right bitrate range. This is really bothersome. Please recover already. Okay, we're getting back to green. The frames are stopping dropping. Yeah, Outlander, I don't know what to say. YouTube said that it wasn't getting enough frames for streaming. And looking at my dropped frames, I dropped approximately 4,700 of them at 60 FPS, which is many seconds, but things seem to be okay now. Seems it was a limited thing, or maybe not. Bitrate, stay steady, please. Okay. I think we're in the clear now. But yeah, anyway, diving. You go down deep enough for long enough, you gotta deal with decompression, which generally means that during your ascent, you need to partition out some time to not go all the way to the surface. You go some of the way up, and then you just wait there for a few minutes to decompress a little before you actually go all the way up to the surface, which is why you don't just stay down until you're starting to run low on air. You stay down until you you stay down until such a time as you need to go back up due to time reasons, because you need to spend a certain amount of time decompressing, and you still have enough air to support that. So, like, basically you just... most divers actually have a little computer they keep with them, a waterproof one that basically just calculates, you know, this is how long you're going to have to spend decompressing at this point in time. And this is also how much air you have left in your tank. And it'll basically let you know when it's time to go up safely, when you've got definitely enough air to keep going and decompress and all that. You just need to check it regularly. Garnet, howdy! It's Ian, how are you? You know, lately I've been wanting to battle you again. What do you say? Are you interested? I'm waiting on Route 34. Sorry, getting to Route 34 right now is a bit of a bear, so I'm not going to do it. Ever since I got my dive license, I actually stopped going to the beach. Because I realized that while I do love diving and I love looking at sea life, I don't like swimming at the beach. I don't like the sand. Everything I like is under the water. So unless I myself can go under the water and stay there, I'm just not gonna have a good time. And then there's also the fact that the sea life here in San Diego, there is a lot of species variety, especially if you get to the kelp forests. But in terms of, like, visual interest, there's not so much. Because if you go diving around here, you're going to see pretty much 3 colors. You're going to see brownish, you're going to see silver, and you're going to see obnoxious orange. Because our state fish, the Garibaldi, is very common here. And it is obnoxiously orange. Like, please, if you do not know what a Garibaldi fish looks like, go look it up. It is the most obnoxiously orange animal I have seen in my life. And fun fact, orange is one of my least favorite colors, so yeah, when the only splash of color you see diving around here is obnoxiously orange. Yeah, it's just not really a visual feast in my eyes. Much rather go diving somewhere tropical where the fish are all colorful. Yeah, Outlander, it is impossible to overstate how obnoxious the orange is, especially if you see them in real life and not through a picture. Like, It is eye-searing. Oh, I guess I didn't need to catch that Teddy Ursa earlier after all, if we can just find Ursa rings. So let's go ahead and use strength on this guy. Or on this girl, rather. Oh, that did nothing. So I used strength mostly because I didn't want to get locked into Petal Dance and potentially KO her, so we're using strength again. And now let's swap to Lantern to get a para. Another fun fact about diving, it's actually not the safest thing to do in sea lion territory. Sea lions usually are perfectly docile creatures, playful, but not usually dangerous. They can absolutely be dangerous, but so can any animal that size. But most of the time, they're docile, playful, not a threat, etc., etc. But a big bull sea lion, you know, the dominant male of a group, he will generally tell any newcomers in his domain, hey, this place belongs to me, by swimming by blowing a lot of bubbles. So, among sea lions, blowing bubbles like that is seen as an act of trying to assert dominance. Trying to say, this place belongs to me. If you are diving and not snorkeling, every time you exhale, you are blowing a lot of bubbles. You cannot stop the bubbles from being blown unless you stop exhaling. Do not dive near a sea lion colony. It is a bit of a bad idea because just the act of breathing will result in you telling the sea lion that you think, yeah, this place belongs to me, actually. It's not yours. You are literally picking a fight by breathing. Meanwhile, if you want to go snorkeling with sea lions, that's relatively safe. Like, as long as you don't go underwater and start exhaling down there, you're not blowing bubbles. Typically, the worst that'll happen is a curious sea lion will start biting your flippers, just for fun. And thankfully, getting your flippers bitten does not hurt. I can say this because I've gone snorkeling with sea lions before. While I was on a cruise in the Sea of Cortez, or the Gulf of California, or whatever you want to call it. Sea of Cortez is what it actually is, though. So yeah, was on a cruise there, and one of the excursion activities was to go snorkeling with sea lions, and it was pretty neat. I definitely got my flippers tugged on a little from some curious, playful little sea lions. And there was a big bull swimming by every once in a while, blowing lots of bubbles. But no one got bit on anything other than the flippers. It was a fun time, and it was safe. The real goal of that cruise was there was one expedition that they had scheduled to go out swimming with whale sharks. That would have been really cool. I wish I could have done that. But unfortunately, the day that we were scheduled to do it, the weather was bad and they couldn't take out the small craft that they needed to get out to where the whale sharks were. And thus, I did not get to swim with a whale shark, which is the one thing I was most looking forward to that entire cruise, because dang it, whale sharks are among my favorite animals. Just look at them. They're giant. They're beautiful animals. They're completely docile. What is not to like about a whale shark? Come on. I wanted to go swimming with a whale shark, and I was scheduled to do it, but the weather said no. Ursaring, the hibernator Pokemon. With its ability to distinguish any aroma, it unfailingly finds all food buried deep underground. Meanwhile, there's an aquarium in, I believe, Atlanta, Georgia, where they have whale sharks in a giant aquarium. You know, big enough to house whale sharks. And apparently you can actually sign up to go swimming with their whale sharks, but the waiting list is like years long. I'd still love to do it at some point, though. Okay, looks like left is how to continue, so here to the right seems to be nothing. Yeah, Outlander, whale sharks are indeed huge filter feeders. They are the largest extant fish. Plus, they got that spotty pattern on them that's just beautiful. Love those animals. Want to see one in person someday. I actually have seen a whale shark pup preserved in a jar of formaldehyde, but it's not quite the same now, is it? Garnet, howdy. It's Jack. How are you? Did you know? If the opponent uses minimize, your stomp becomes more powerful. Guard, the internet has been mostly good, with the exception of one brief period where I dropped about 4,000 frames. But apparently there was no noticeable interruption for Outlander, at least. So, must have been during a time where I was being quiet, or maybe my voice got through, but the visuals didn't really update. Who knows? Either way, it's over now, and things have been mostly fine. And hopefully they remain as such. Yeah, we did have a technician come out from the ISP to make sure that things were okay, and they identified a couple potential problems. Apparently our modem itself was having some issues, so they replaced that. And then our cable box apparently has a lot of noise coming from it, which can interfere with uploads specifically, because it's bleeding into the other lines that's going, like, to the actual internet and out to them. So that's probably at least some of the cause. So they put a filter on both lines. On the cable box line to reduce the noise from that, and then on the modem's line to basically force the modem to broadcast, or to send signals at higher strength to reduce the chances that any noise can affect it. So, yeah, hopefully things will be better. And also, we have looked into replacing the cable box with a streaming box that also lets us still get live TV from our ISP/cable provider. Because if we can do that, then we can just get rid of the noisy line entirely. Yeah, the reason the line's so noisy is because it was put in like the 80s. Back before those lines needed to carry anywhere near as much data as they do now. And thus, yeah, it's just not really built to be all that shielded or anything, because it was never expected to carry so much, and thus never expected to bleed so much stuff. So yeah, our options were basically either get rid of the cable box entirely, or get new lines run, if we want to get rid of the noise entirely. And we are going to be experimenting with getting rid of the cable box entirely, because that's a whole lot easier, and if we can get the same functionality without needing to drill new holes in any walls, then yeah, that's the better option. Yeah, back on the subject of marine life. My whole life, I've loved sharks. Like, from the moment I first learned about them. Loved them. They're beautiful creatures. And, like, the local aquarium here has a lot of leopard sharks, which are among the most common sharks here in San Diego. They're not large sharks. They get to be, like, on average, they're generally like 4 or 5 feet long, full grown. They can get to be 6 feet long. So, you'll pretty much never find one longer than 2 meters. So why does this path exist? Who knows? Yeah, they're not big sharks, but they do have some beautiful patterning on them. Okay, male ring. I need one of those. And they're, as far as I'm aware, they've never been responsible for a fatality, because they just don't get big enough to cause that much damage, even if they do bite. Which they're not really going to. Like, sharks rarely bite to begin with. Almost every single time a shark has bitten a human. If not every single time, it's just been a case of mistaken identity. If you don't look like what they eat, they don't try to eat you. Fancy that. And like all other shark bites are exploratory, because turns out when you've got no hands, your mouth is basically the way you interact with the world. So they're just trying to figure out what the heck you are. And the way they figure that out is with one quick little bite. Which for some sharks, yes, can cause catastrophic damage. But yeah, a leopard shark, not really going to do too much to you. But they're beautiful animals. You go to the aquarium and see them swimming around. They're gorgeous. I personally really like just... when you get to the aquarium and you watch them swim around and you see some of them, like in the big kelp forest exhibit they've got at the aquarium here, the leopard sharks will always just be doing loops around it, pretty much. And when they go right by the glass, you can see how their muscles work, and it is just, frankly, it's beautiful. I love seeing their muscles working as they swim, and it's a thing. But one time when I was diving in Hawaii, we got out to the shelf where basically it just drops off. Because that's how it works. When you're looking at the ocean, like, there's generally a gradual slope to getting deeper and deeper until you get to a point where it just suddenly drops off a cliff and gets way deep, way fast. Yeah, one point was out at like swam out to basically the shelf, and there was, you know, coral reef behind me, almost at the shelf, and then just out in the depths, just look out past the shelf, hundreds of sharks. All small ones, like, I'd estimate they were like 3 feet long. But just hundreds of sharks swimming by. And that was... I mean, it captivated me to the point that I stopped paying attention to my position and ended up drifting into the coral behind me. And that's when I learned, over the course of the next few days, that if you touch coral and get a scrape from coral, it stings for days. Oh, can't go past there. And yeah, guard, cephalopods are fantastic, and I love them. Cuttlefish are my favorite, but octopuses, squids, they're all excellent. My favorite part of the cuttlefish is their W-shaped pupil. Yeah, Outlander, I do watch them, though, to be fair, I was aware of cuttlefish and their W-shaped pupil well before they were featured on there. Went to an aquarium while I was in Japan, and they had a bunch of cuttlefish. That aquarium I went to in Japan also happened to have baby loggerhead sea turtles at the time. They were like 6 inches long, and they had a dozen of them or so. Those things were cute. Yeah, guard, it would be pretty neat if I found a green bear. Of course, this file has already found one random shiny that I didn't soft reset for or anything, so... chances are relatively low that I will find another. Not that having found one reduces the chance of finding one later, but the chances of having found 2 by the end of a run are a lot smaller than the chances of having found 1. Yeah, I did soft reset for August here, but I also got a shiny unknown P while I was trying to collect the alphabet. And of course, who can forget the red Gyarados I found? That Gyarados I found at full odds. Sure, those odds were 1 of 1. But they can't go any lower. And therefore, it was full odds for that specific encounter. Kind of bugs me that August just grows and then shrinks when it uses strength. Yeah, Guard, we both found our first shinies in that exact same forest. Yours being an Oddish, mine being a Zubat. Yeah, Outlander, if I'm not mistaken, there has been exactly one Pokemon generation where I have not found a wild shiny just playing through. Because, Gen 2, I found my wild shiny Zubat. Gen 3, I actually found a handful of shinies. There was a Ralts, a Skarmory, Trapinch, and a Feebas. Gen 4, I found a wild shiny Machop. When I was trying to Poke Radar for Larvitars. And then Gen 5, I found no random shinies. that's why that spot was a different color. I see. Gen 5 is the only generation where I never found a wild shiny just normally. Gen 6... I mean, if you add in Friend Safari, I've found a ton. If you don't count Friend Safari, I think that number does go down to 0. Gen 7... I found and lost a shiny Beldum in one of my runs that I was doing for the Pokédex. Because guess who forgot that it was Gen 8 where Beldum got swapped over to Tackle from Takedown? I think I've also found a couple other shinies in Gen 7 as well. But that Beldum is the one that I know for absolute certain I've found. Alright, I also once found a shiny Minior in that gen that self-destructed before I could see what color it... Well, I guess I wouldn't have been able to see what color it was. Because it self-destructed, like, on turn 1. But whatever. And then Gen 8, I have gotten several shinies in. I think I had to breed for all of them. Unless you count Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee as Gen 8, in which case I found a shiny Jinx. I guess Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is technically Gen 7. Technically. No, Gen 8 I've definitely found some shinies in. Definitely. Whether I had to hatch them or not, I have gotten shinies myself. And then Gen 9 I have gotten way too many shinies, honestly. I think I've got, like, almost 10 boxes full. Of course, many of them were from sandwiches, but many were not. Like my shiny Mareep and shiny Gyarados that I got in the Pokemon Violet that I've been going through literally just a couple days ago. That file doesn't even have a shiny charm. Just happened to find a shiny Mareep and a shiny red Gyarados. Shiny red Gyarados is redundant. But either way, shiny Mareep and shiny Gyarados found full odds just because there are so many freaking Pokemon spawns in Scarlet and Violet on Switch 2 that it is very easy for the game to generate a shiny for you to find. I didn't grab the item. The Golbat distracted me. And apparently now I can't even get back there. Cool. On the subject of playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on Switch 2, finally saw a teardown of the Switch 2 Pro Controller. And it looks like it is still using potentiometers, just like the Switch 1 Pro Controller, which means it is susceptible to drifting eventually. Maybe it'll take longer to drift, maybe it won't. But it's still potentiometers, which means after enough use, it is effectively guaranteed to develop drift, however much enough use is. But at least in the meantime, I have never in my life felt a better stick than the ones in the Pro Controller 2. Those sticks feel so good. Just buttery smooth the whole way around. They never actually have the stem of the stick contact the gate around it. And thus, like, yeah, it's totally smooth. You don't feel any friction. no matter how much you swirl the stick, it's great. And because the stem never contacts the edges, like, nothing is rubbing against anything that's going to create any debris that'll get potentially stuck in the potentiometers. And the sticks are relatively quiet because what they actually contact when they hit their limit of their range is a soft silicon gasket that's a little circle around the bottom of, like, the dome-shaped part below the stick itself. So the dome-shaped part, the edges of that contact a silicon ring around the bottom to keep them quiet and feeling smooth and soft. They are fantastic sticks for while they work. Which, again, could be a long time, could not. Who knows? I clicked run instead of soft reset. I'm a fool, but not really that much of a fool because there's no autosaves here, so we're good. Yeah, Pro Controller 2, great controller, feels good, love it. Hold it. Are you going to challenge the Pokemon League? Victory Road is at its end, for sure. But did you notice? You didn't see any real trainers on the way, did you? Man, they were all spineless. Well, the fact that you've come this far means you're not one of them. But your journey ends here. Because right here, right now, I will crush you. Admittedly, if I'm comparing the Pro Controller 2 to the DualSense Edge that I have to give the Edge to the Edge. I think my ideal controller lies somewhere between the two. Like, if we had the button and stick layout of the Pro Controller 2, the heft of the DualSense Edge, the back buttons and positioning for them of the DualSense Edge, the haptic triggers of the DualSense Edge, but the sticks of the Switch Pro Controller 2, I think that would be my ideal controller. The platonic ideal of a controller. I actually did end up getting the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Which, yeah, it's $10. It really should have been a free pack-in. I will never argue that it should not have been a free pack-in. But what I can say is I spent 8 hours in it and didn't feel bored. Like, it took me about 8 hours to see everything it had to offer. And I did not feel bored during that time. I got to see some interesting stuff. I got to play some decently fun minigames. Even if far too many of them leaned on specifically mouse mode. Like, it was a decent experience, and you got to learn a bunch of interesting stuff about the engineering work that went into the Switch 2 and its peripherals. Some of it was definitely a little bit self-congratulatory. But it was still an enjoyable experience. I don't mind having bought it. And yeah, some of the things that they were saying, like, they changed some really, really minor details. Like, oh, the Switch Pro Controller 2 is ever so slightly thinner in this one part than the Switch Pro Controller 1 is. Oh, and the handles, we've slightly adapted the way they're gripped to be a little bit more like GameCube controller handles because people really liked those. But then there's also other stuff like the fact that they went as far as to design a shell for the Pro Controller 2 such that there would be no seams on it anywhere your fingers usually contact, because that keeps it cleaner. So instead, the only seam on the thing is like a U-shaped thing around the front face of it, where your palm doesn't touch, your fingers don't touch because your thumb arches over it. And so yeah, you don't feel any seams anywhere on the thing's body because they're just not where your fingers or your palms touch. Which, hey, that's nice. Makes it feel nice and smooth the whole way around. But it also meant that they couldn't do like rubberized grips on it like they did on the Switch Pro Controller 1. So like, it's got to be just soft touch plastic. But on the other hand, yeah, it's going to stay clean and it feels smooth. It's not quite as soft as the Pro Controller 1's grips, but it's not bad. And then like when they showed how the D-pad changed, it's actually kind of interesting because most D-pads that Nintendo has done, it's, you know, they've got the D-pad itself and it's resting on like a stick that extends from the bottom center to serve as a pivot. So like, yeah, it's got a rounded post coming down from the actual center of the D-pad unit, and that is serving as the pivot that it's pivoting around. For the Pro Controller 2, what they have done is they've actually effectively inverted it. So the pivot is actually recessed into the plastic of the D-pad itself, and it rests on top of a post that is in the body of the controller. And so it pivots a little bit differently, which makes it a little harder than on the Switch Pro Controller 1, at least, to accidentally do a diagonal input. You can still do a diagonal input easily, but it's a lot harder to do it accidentally. I couldn't win. I gave it everything I had. What you possess and what I lack. I'm beginning to understand what that dragon tamer said to me. I haven't given up on becoming the greatest trainer. I'm going to find out why I can't win and become stronger. When I do, I will challenge you. I'll beat you down with all my power. You keep at it until then. Yeah, it's fascinating. All of the small changes that Nintendo made going into into the Switch 2 and its peripherals, like, they put a lot of thought into things that seem really small. Even into things that worked perfectly fine before. Like, it's clear they didn't just sit on their laurels and be like, oh yeah, it works, it's good enough, ship it like that again. Like, the fact that they are actively trying to improve things that already worked great, I mean, is nice. Oh, and there's actually one bit of the Switch 2 welcome tour that just actually blew my mind. Because with the HD Rumble 2, They're able to do even more fine control of how the rumble happens, which it's basically they've got a weight suspended on 2 springs that they can move however they like, using motors or whatever, sending current through things. And they can get such fine control out of it that by vibrating this weight in the right ways, they can actually, in one of the tech demos in the software, use the rumble motor in the Joy-Cons to play the coin collection and 1-up collection sounds from the original Super Mario Bros. Using a rumble motor. And it's loud and clear, and it's like... just... It uses the same principles that speakers do to make sound. They vibrate, like speakers vibrate a diaphragm to make noise. Like, they vibrate it at specific frequencies. And here, they vibrate the little rumble weight in the controllers and effectively turn the controllers themselves into speakers. It was mind-blowing. I have I have 14 rare candies because I cheated to get a bunch of them. I mean, I didn't cheat. I brought in a fleet of Zigzagoons. Yep, you can't prove I didn't. Gonna go out of Victory Road and heal at Pokemon Center before I continue exploring. Because I am running low on stuff. Yeah, Guard, navigating the inventory in this game kind of sucks, because it's meant to be done specifically on the touchscreen, which makes it a very bad experience doing it with buttons. And, like, I've been using the touchscreen for it, but even the touch controls for it aren't ideal. And then Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum have a completely different method that is also meant to be done with a touchscreen and isn't great. Like, I don't think anyone can argue that the Gen 4 games weren't designed with the express intent of players using the touchscreen for as many controls as possible. Like, so many menus were designed to be easy to operate with a touchscreen without really any thought to operating them with buttons. because a lot of them got less easy to operate than they had been in Gen 3. But Gen 5 onward, I'd say things are fine. Though I will say, operating the inventory in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is better than doing it in Scarlet and Violet. And that is for one very specific reason. In Diamond and Pearl, when you are on a page of the inventory, like a pocket in your bag, like say you're on the other items pocket, you know, the one where all the rare candies and all of the hold items live. In BDSP, then you can hit L or R to jump down a page's worth of entries in a specific pocket, which makes it a lot faster to get to what you want if it's down low. In Scarlet and Violet, L and R do absolutely nothing in the bag menu. You have to manually scroll all the way down. Why did they revert that? It was such a good feature. Actually, I do. Or no, I can't buy regular Pokeballs here, so I don't have anything else to buy. And Outlander, you can use a capture card plugged into Switch 2 via USB as a camera source, which means that you can use it to share other material via game chat than just a camera feed of your face. But like, you can't plug a USB capture card into the Switch 2 and use it to capture from the Switch 2 without having another system or anything. Yeah, when I eventually start streaming games from my Switch 2, I'll just be going HDMI into my Elgato 4K. I wanted to say Pro, but I think it's just called the 4K, this current version. 4K Mark II, maybe? Something like that. Whatever the most recent, like, actual PCIe thing they've got going on is the thing that I have in my computer. So by the look of things, there's only one item left for me to grab here in Victory Road, and I'd have to basically go back through it in order to get it. Okay, then 4K Pro is what I've got. I've also got a 4KX. That's what I used to capture my PSVR 2 footage. It's what I've used now 3 times to attempt to capture Resident Evil 8 in VR. Someday, a playthrough of Resident Evil 8 VR will show up on this channel. Someday. The next chance I'll have to attempt recording it is going to be in mid-July. Because I don't typically have the space to do a VR game like that and record it. But every once in a while, my housemates go on a vacation that I do not go on. And while they are gone, their room has a lot more open space than mine. And thus, I can bring my laptop, my PS5, my PSVR 2, and a capture card, an external capture card in there to try and record footage. And that actually works, usually. But 3 times now, I have attempted to get footage of Resident Evil 8 VR, and every time there has been an issue that prevented me from getting it. The first time, it recorded everything just fine, but it was in 720p. I am not going to upload a 720p downscale of a game that is being rendered at 4K. It's a huge loss of pixels, and it's just not the visual quality that I want to put on this channel. Which should be pretty obvious from the fact that I'm streaming this gameplay right now in 4K. I'm streaming a DS game in 4K. I care about my video quality. Anyway, the next time I tried to record Resident Evil 8 VR, I ran into a different issue. Which is that I told it to start recording, and then it just decided, okay, I will record 1 minute, and then just stop. And after an hour-long session, I learned that. And, oops. Turns out, it's really demoralizing when you thought you were recording for an hour, but you only recorded a minute. And then, the third attempt. I did a test recording of 5 minutes. Everything worked fine. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna work this time. I'm gonna try actually playing and recording. I have it start recording. I start playing. I play for about an hour. Get to the first typewriter. Save. All right, we're doing good. Gonna check and see how OBS is doing. OBS crashed 27 minutes into the recording. And so I lost a half hour of footage. Again, demoralizing. But someday, I will manage to get an actual recording of Resident Evil 8 in VR. And it will show up on this channel. And it will be done. Yeah, Outlander, when you have to go through the village siege to get to the first typewriter, yes, it is. Yeah, that's exactly what was demoralizing. Especially because I made the arguable mistake of playing on hardcore in VR mode. Hardcore and non-VR mode is challenging enough, but VR mode makes the game considerably harder. so I'm concerned at this point that my Pokemon might be a little underleveled for the Elite Four, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. Don't really have answers to Lance. I don't have Ice Beam anywhere. But that's a problem for future me. Once you enter this door, you'll be facing one of the Elite Four. They are really tough. You cannot exit once you enter. Are you ready? Be courageous and go for it. Okay, first up we've got this guy who uses Psychic types. I think his name is Lucian. My answer to Psychic types is, I believe, Lantern's Signal Beam. Or Espeon's Shadow Ball. They both work. Honestly, Espeon's probably the better choice. What with being faster and stronger and resisting Psychic. Welcome to the Pokemon League. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Will. Okay, so not Lucian. Will. Lucian's from a different E4, isn't he? I've trained all around the world, making my Psychic-type Pokemon powerful. And at last, I've been accepted into the Elite Four. I can only keep getting better. Losing is not an option. Okay, so we're at least above the level of his lowest level Pokemon. Well, at least some of our Pokemon are. Others are below the level. Okay, and that's all the proof I need that my Magcargo does, in fact, have the experience share, because there's no way that Xatu would only give 700 XP without that being the case. Yep, there it goes. Oof. Barely left it alive. So he's going to be full restoring here. So I just Shadow Ball again, honestly. And hope that we get the special defense drop, or else we get a high roll and the Exeggutor just goes down. Alright, high roll. We take those. Yeah, Lander, that is kind of surprising that there's no overlap in their teams. Okay, Ice Punch. Not super effective. And no freeze, so we're good. We Psychics don't give up even when we're down to the last Pokemon. That's what makes us so formidable. I had to assume some of the words he said because auto-scrolling text, but whatever. And no one-shot on the Slowbro. That's not a surprise at all. It's a Curse Bro, but that's not really going to help it against me unless it's got a physical move in there that I care about. Until we hit 0, our power is limitless. I'm not giving up yet. Alright, let me Shadow Ball again while you full restore. Hopefully we get the special defense drop. Guard, why would you come up with something so terrible? Alright, there goes the Slowbro, and there goes Will. I can't believe it. You can't believe that you, the lowest ranked member of the Elite Four, can ever be defeated? Even though I was defeated, I won't change my course. I will continue battling until I stand above all trainers. Now move on and experience the true ferocity of the Elite Four. Like, he seriously just gave us an, I can't believe someone was better than me. Now, please, go fight the four people who are better than me. I think just making sure that Espeon's at full HP is all we really need to do here. Okay, Koga. I mean, Koga uses poison types. Espeon's still gonna sweep this, right? I am Koga of the Elite Four. I live in shadows, a ninja. My intricate style will confound and destroy you. Confusion, sleep, poison. Prepare to be the victim of my sinister techniques. Pokemon are not merely about brute force. You shall see soon enough. Alright, time to click Psychic for the whole fight. Excuse me, sir, that's not a poison type. Magcargo, do you actually get to shine? I'm not liking those toxic spikes. I don't have any way to get rid of them as far as I'm aware. But I can sure torch this Fortress. I see we both crit. But my crit was likely unnecessary. You know what? This thing's a bug, we stay in. Let's flamethrower it, though. Of course it did. Alright, toast it. Yeah, I shouldn't have expected much more than that. Magcargo's not exactly a powerhouse. But it's strong enough to get rid of this bug. Look at that, Magcargo got 2 KOs. I think we let Magcargo go down here. Maybe with a yawn? Yeah, no, not with a yawn. We are not surviving that. And then we bring back Espeon, who is going to get poisoned, but that's fine. It's just regular poison, not toxic poison. Not bad poison, as this game would call it. And Crobat in the back. We've got answers to that. One Pokemon left. Ha ha ha! I've been counting on this one from the very beginning. So if you've been counting on your Crobat from the very beginning and you sent it out last, that means that you were counting on your other 4 Pokemon to get KO'd. I feel like you need to apologize to those 4. Alright, 2 Elite 4 members down. Ah, you have proven your worth. I subjected you to everything I could muster, but my efforts failed. I must hone my skills. Go on to the next room and put your abilities to the test. Alright, now to revive Magcargo. And heal both of these. We're gonna need a full restore on Espeon. And then Magcargo can get away with just... thought I had a soda pop in here somewhere. Guess not. Magcargo gets away with just a max potion. A very wasted max potion. Could have done it with a super potion. But I didn't have one. Bruno. The guy who always makes me wonder why they let him stay here. And furthermore, why they promoted him. I am Bruno of the Elite Four. I always train to the extreme because I believe in our potential. That is how we became strong. Can you withstand our power? I see no fear in you. You look determined, perfect for battle. Ready, Garnet? You will bow down to our overwhelming power. Hoo-ha! I put August in front because I've always had this image in my head of Bruno being a rock type guy, but he only ever just had 2 Onyxes, isn't that? Like, I should have left Espeon in front. I can still move Espeon in front and probably be decently safe because it does resist fighting. Or maybe I want to give Crobat a chance? Nah, let's do Espeon. Thanks for wasting your turn. We take those. And you know what? I'm not going to bother to switch because Onyx has low enough special defense that this Psychic should still take it out. Honestly, Psybeam probably would have taken out. I probably should use Psybeam if he's still got another Onix back there. That might be a Steelix by now. Or maybe he dropped one of the Onixes for the Hitmon top. That would honestly make more sense, wouldn't it? Which then begs the question, why didn't he evolve the one Onix he still had? Yeah, really should have had a Steelix instead of an Onix. Fight as hard as you can till you faint. That's not going to be very hard or very long, Bruno. Why? How could we lose? Because you have a glaring weakness to psychic types, and Espeon is fast. Having lost, I have no right to say anything. Go face your next challenge. So, did I take any damage during that fight? Nope. Who knew? Having a single Espeon that knows Psychic and Shadow Ball would hard counter everything but a freaking Fortress in the first 3 members of the Elite Four. And here we've got Agatha. Or no, this isn't Agatha, this is Karen, who uses Dark types? Because Agatha's gone? Right, yeah. So Karen using her Dark types. I kind of wish my Heracross was a higher level, and I've definitely found at least 4 of the rare candies that I have through legitimate means, and therefore... Hey look, Heracross is level 40. Ooh, close combat. Do I want close combat, actually? I would love to replace Rock Smash with it, but that's an HM, so I can't. So I guess we just don't get close combat, because Brick Break should be plenty enough. And it doesn't lower my defenses. Actually, you know what? Let's bring Heracross to 42. It still won't be above the level of Karen's stuff. And I think 42 is when it gets Mega Horn. I kind of want Mega Horn. Oh, no Mega Horn. Oh well. We're stopping at 42. I should really look into giving my Pokemon items to hold, shouldn't I? Held items do make the game a little easier. Maybe we give the Metronome to Heracross. And then... I wish I had value for that Never Melt Ice, but I don't. Don't really have a whole lot else to actually use, do I? Nope. Oh well. Quick Claw will go on Magcargo, who is done with the experience share. Executive decision. And we'll give the experience share to Crobat. who is now the lowest level of our party. Yeah, Karen is very famous for her dialogue here. That's what made me remember that this is Karen and not Agatha, even though in terms of field sprite, that's what made me think, oh, this is Agatha, the gray hair. But anyway, I'm Karen of the Elite Four. You're Garnet? How amusing. I love Dark-type Pokemon. What's amusing about my name? I'm known for my overpowering tactics. Think you can take them? Just try to entertain me. Let's go. All right, Umbreon up front. And we're going to Brick Break it. Of course, Umbreon is very physically bulky, so it survives this. But if I just keep clicking Brick Break, hopefully things will work out fine. Good, the double team did nothing. We love to see it. And now we've got 2 metronome stacks on this Brick Break. Which we're going to need because Murkrow does not take super effective damage from it. Okay, quadruply effective Pluck. That's not going to be pleasant. In fact, that's going to be a one-shot. Okay. Did not expect to get one-shot by a Murkrow, but I suppose these things happen. We got through the Umbreon, which is not nothing. Okay, Lantern doesn't have an answer to Vileplume. And Vileplume does have an answer to Lantern, so we are swapping out. We've probably got a grass move incoming, so Crobat is probably our safest switch. That's a grass move. Now the question, is that low enough health that she will use a full restore? The answer is no. So as long as this fly doesn't miss, we beat the Vileplume. Easy peasy. Houndoom. Okay, so this one... Honestly, I think we just keep Crobat in because I don't want to swap to Lantern and just eat some remarkably devastating attack for no reason. Of course, now that it's nasty plotting, things are getting worse for us. Oh, I would have loved to see that do at least half its health. So now, Lantern is going to have to survive through a nasty plot Dark Pulse, probably. And I don't like those chances, but we just gotta see if we can get it. Yep, that's a nasty plot Dark Pulse. Please live and please don't flinch. Dang. Okay, I think this Houndoom stops us at this point. I certainly don't see Magcargo bringing it down. But with a Yawn... Of course, the Dark Pulse probably gets rid of Magcargo easily. So yeah, Magcargo doesn't survive that. And at this point, I don't think Espeon survives it either. And August probably doesn't survive the Flamethrower. I believe we have lost. And I don't believe any items that I could use would salvage this at this point. Letting that nasty plot get off without having an immediate answer to it probably doomed this particular attempt. But we're faster with Espeon, so at least there's that. Like, hey, I can use that Swift. And what do we have here? Citrus? We sure do. So I'm going to have to get two... Wow, Flamethrower and not Dark Pulse? Do you not see a KO with either? No, you see a KO with both. I see. Yep, we have officially lost to Karen. There is no salvaging this. But, yeah. And I'm sure that Dark Pulse gets a KO. It sure does. And that is why I saved before the Elite Four instead of after. Oh boy, I'm dropping frames. I don't know how many frames I'm dropping, but I'm dropping them. I mean, I do know how many frames I'm dropping. I'm dropping lots of frames, but I don't know if they're all in the same seconds or what. But anyway, bunch of frames dropped. Karen defeated me. And here's the plan. We're just going to go ahead and call it a stream anyway. Things seem to have stabilized, but between Karen beating me and dropping all those frames, it seems like a decent time to stop just to begin with. Especially because I only had another 15 minutes to go anyway. So let's just go ahead and check one more Mesprit. And then, yep, that Mesprit's just a Mesprit. So, that is going to be it for this stream. Thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all that. I will be back on Tuesday. And hopefully my internet will be even more stable then. Because, yeah, things were decent today, but we did have a couple instances of frame dropping. But yeah, Tuesday, even more stable, hopefully. Hopefully we finally get the shiny Mesprit then. And, yeah, I'll be in a better position to beat Karen as well. See you then, friends.